Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Leal, and the moon continues to transit in Sagittarius today and tomorrow, part of the day of tomorrow. In fact, very early, it is going to create an opposition with Jupiter in Gemini. It is responding to Jupiter because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, and also it is going to create squares with the karma nodes. At the same time, Jupiter is perfecting its tension with the nodes. So this is perfected tomorrow, but it is part of this week. There is a mutable cross that pushes us to bring to light our adaptive qualities. It is calling us to flexibilizing, to question our structures of thought, those inner dialogues that we can repeat and that turn into beliefs. This is going to be very important to take decisions and to face the processes that are emerging these days. The thing is identifying the polarizations with the mutable signs, like everything is relative. I am going to flow with everything, every idea or way is possible, even the things that aren't actually responding to a true purpose in our path, because Jupiter is calling us to connect with the purpose. So there could be a tendency to distract with people, with social media, with our mind, etc. But what truly is inviting us to do is to observe our perceptions. They are truly important because we fit the entire reality in them. When we are losing the north, when we lose the sense in what we are doing, that is a calling to change something regarding these perceptions. And of course, depends on the path of each one of us. Sometimes it is not only about changing the perception, but changing the entire direction of our experience. But this thing of amplifying our look is very important because, for example, when we want to produce growth in certain area of our lives and that is not happening, and even it is happening the opposite thing, to worry about that only, it is not going to solve things. So we have to open ourselves to the opportunity to understand what is the thing that we need to do differently to reconnect with the sense in the process. So this is Jupiter in Gemini, opening our mind, opening ourselves to new or different ideas. Because when we recognize that what we know about a reality universe actually is very limited, and we just simply expand the possibilities, we create energetically space to new answers. And of course, answers cannot be a condition to move forward. I am referring that, for example, if you are going through right now a situation in which you aren't find the purpose of that situation yet, our life has to continue. And perhaps that answer is going to be revealed later, but we cannot attach ourselves to wanting to understand everything because basically in our humble humanity, we cannot understand everything. But also there are answers that are vital for our path. At least in this incarnation. So we have to trust that they are going to be revealed in the right time. The thing is not stopping to explore. This is a quality of Jupiter too, because the genuine intention of seeking that the soul possesses always leads us to find something that is valuable along the process. And that seek necessarily connects us with new spaces, very different ones in some cases, and other times this is about little movements. For example, with this contact with the South Node in Virgo could be a new routine, a new knowledge, a new book, a connection that brings us another perspective of reality. Perhaps it's a conversation with a neighbor, this is a Gemini energy. An idea that we could implement that it feels very connected to an inner calling, and that idea could even come from the past. South Node, it is very related with the things that we bring from other incarnations that are coded also in the soul. So we can take those ideas or things that we did in this life and applying that in this present moment in a different way. to move forward, North Node in Pisces. Also, the North Node in Pisces is about feeling the direction. It is this way or it isn't this way, because I cannot explain this in words. I'm just feeling it with my intuition. This is North Node in Pisces. Later, in the afternoon, at least here in Argentina, is going to change the time in other places. The moon is going to enter Capricorn. And well, from the joy and the optimism of Sagittarius, here the moon has this more realistic focus of the circumstances. It's about establishing objectives, goals, and what we need to do to materialize them. Days of moon in Capricorn are very, very good to make, certain tasks that not necessarily we love to do, but we have to do because they are part of the process. Even if we are approaching our path of the soul, there will ever be things that we don't like that much. And that energy, and this energy helps a lot to focus ourselves in the terrestrial world and to be patient and to do it. Just do it. So it is also important to mention that the moon in Capricorn responds to Saturn, that is about to leave Pisces. It is in the last mathematical degree, 29th. And there are situations that are requiring a closure, or at least they are beginning to close, because to conclude. Because remember that from September of 2025, this I mentioned in the video of Saturn in Aries, to February 2026, Saturn is coming back to Pisces, and there we have the final closure. Basically, Saturn in here, it is showing us where we need to finally establish the boundary, which decisions we need to assume from our inner authority, how we've been maturing our relationship with emotions in this time from March 2023 until this point. It is asking us if we are really building, responding to our soul, because that is responsibility. Because that inner listening, that obviously we can keep developing beyond Saturn in Pisces, it is what is living in here. When Saturn enters Aries, we are going to start to correct and to mature our desires, to develop the action that we are going to take in relation to those desires. For both people, people that have put aside their own desires because for certain programmings they have prioritized the environment or other people, as much as people that have given priority to their own desires, and perhaps they didn't consider their actions and how their decisions impacted the environment. So these are the polarities. Of course, in the middle, in between, we have nuances. Certainly, we all have things to rectify, perhaps to rectify or to create a discernment regarding the directions that are really responding to a sustainable construction in the long term, especially in these times of change and transition. So thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.